The city was restless that night, filled with the hum of traffic, the glow of streetlights, and the quiet rhythm of rain against the sidewalks. In a modest neighborhood tucked away from the grandeur of skyscrapers, Elena sat by her apartment window, sipping lukewarm tea. She was exhausted from a long day at work in the marketing firm she had served faithfully for 6 years. Her salary barely stretched, but she made do. Elena had grown up believing kindness was more valuable than wealth. Still, even she sometimes felt the world was growing colder, harsher, and more unforgiving. As she watched the rain pour, her thoughts were interrupted by the sight of someone outside, a man standing alone near the bus stop with a little girl clutched against his chest. The man was tall, but there was a slump in his shoulders, the kind that spoke of battles lost and burdens carried. His clothes were damp, worn at the edges, and his shoes looked like they had traveled too many miles without rest. The little girl's head was tucked into his neck, her tiny hands gripping his shirt for warmth. Elena's heart clenched. She could almost feel the desperation radiating from them. Something about the way he stood there, motionless under the rain, broke through her usual hesitation to interfere in strangers' lives. Without thinking twice, Elena grabbed her umbrella, slipped on her slippers, and hurried downstairs. The chill of the rain bit into her skin, but her focus stayed on the man. As she approached, she called gently, "Excuse me, are you okay? Do you need some help?" The man looked up, startled. His eyes, though handsome, were hollow with exhaustion. He hesitated before answering. I'm fine," he muttered, though his trembling hands betrayed him. The little girl coughed lightly, and Elena's resolve hardened. She stepped closer. "You don't look fine. Please, it's raining. You'll both get sick. I live just across the street. At least come inside for a while, until the rain stops." The man shook his head. "I don't want to trouble anyone. We'll be fine. The bus will come." But even as he spoke, there was no conviction in his voice. His daughter stirred in his arms, her lips pale with fatigue. Elena noticed she had no jacket, only a thin shirt that clung to her small frame. That was all she needed to see. "It's not a trouble," Elena said firmly, her voice carrying a warmth that cut through his pride. "I insist. At least for her sake." She extended the umbrella, shielding the little girl. The man swallowed hard, torn between reluctance and desperation. Finally, he nodded faintly. "Thank you," he whispered. Within minutes, they were inside Elena's apartment. It wasn't grand, just a one-bedroom space with second-hand furniture and faintly peeling paint, but it was warm and safe. Elena quickly fetched towels, urging him to sit while she made tea. The man carefully laid his daughter on the couch, covering her with the towel Elena handed him. He touched her forehead with a tenderness that made Elena pause. It was the look of a man who would give the world for his child, if only the world would give him a chance. As he rubbed his daughter's hands to warm them, Elena brought over the steaming mugs. "Here, drink this. It will help." He took the cup with both hands, as if it was more than tea. It was dignity, a reminder that kindness still existed. "Thank you," he said again, his voice low but genuine. "What's your name?" Elena asked softly, careful not to push too much. "Daniel," he replied. "And this is Emma, my daughter. She's beautiful," Elena said, smiling at the little girl. "How old?" "6," Daniel answered, his lips twitching into the faintest smile as he looked at her. Elena's curiosity grew, but she didn't pry. Instead, she focused on making them comfortable, reheating leftover soup, offering them dry clothes from her brother's old belongings. As Daniel hesitated again, she reassured him. "It's just for tonight. No one should be out there in this weather, especially not a child." Daniel's eyes glistened with something unspoken, shame, perhaps, or gratitude too heavy for words. He finally accepted. Over dinner, Elena learned fragments of his story. Daniel had been laid off months ago after his company downsized. Since then, he had been picking up odd jobs, barely scraping by. His wife had left years ago, unable to handle the struggles of their life together. Emma was all he had left, and he was determined to protect her, no matter the cost. They had been moving from shelter to shelter, sometimes spending nights on buses just to stay warm. That night, they had nowhere else to go. Listening to him, Elena's chest tightened. She saw not just a man beaten down by life, but a father refusing to give up. It stirred something deep within her, admiration, sadness, and an aching desire to ease their burden, even just a little. As Emma fell asleep on the couch, Daniel whispered, "I'm sorry. I shouldn't have accepted. You don't even know me. I hate feeling like a burden." Elena reached across the table, her eyes steady. "You're not a burden. You're a father doing his best. That deserves respect, not shame. Sometimes we all need help, and sometimes kindness comes from strangers when we least expect it." Daniel stared at her, silence stretching between them, heavy with meaning. No one had spoken to him like that in years. That night, Elena gave up her bed for Emma and Daniel, sleeping on the couch herself. Before drifting off, she glanced at them. Daniel curled protectively beside his daughter, even in sleep. A small smile touched her lips. Something told her this night mattered more than she realized. And she was right. Because the man she had welcomed in, the father she thought was just another soul battered by life, was about to change her own world in ways she never imagined.